Next, I will be showing how to track down root variables by their value. There are two ways of doing this. There's a less accurate simple method and a complicated accurate method. I'll be showing the simple method first, and this is basically what Congregate Hack had done in his video on cell warfare. We'll assume that we know the value, but we don't know the variable name. For instance, we know enemies left. So we will go ahead and do a normal 4-byte scan for that. Now the address we're looking for will always end in a C. So we will add those now. And if I was to browse to this memory region and go to 0, you'll see that it has the root variable signature. Most importantly is this 020020 marker, followed by the 4 bytes that point to the variable name and the 4 bytes that make up the value. If we wanted to add these pointers now, we could by changing the final digit in the address we just found to a 7 and doing an array of bytes scan for that. So instead of searching for CC, we would do C7 F4 0606. And now this is the pointer pointing to that root variable. And we can add it just as we did our other one in our last example. And we could do the same thing for this. 97 F4 0606. Copy the address, add it manually. So now we have the pointers pointing to those. And if we were to kill a few more enemies, we'll notice that our originals got zeroed out, but our pointers stayed. If you want to know the variable name for these values, you can do that by adding an address manually that points to the text. To do that, add an address manually, click on Pointer, click on Add Pointer, and we will type in the address that's currently being pointed to, 0842 4E 4C, and the pointer to the variable name is located in the 4 bytes preceding the value. So we will do a -4. And then the offset is 7. And we want to add this as a text value. And we want to give it enough characters that we can actually see what the value is. So we will add that. And we can see it has a value of text holder. So we will do that again with the other address, 0842 4A 7C -4, offset of 7. And then this points to enemies left. So we know that this is our actual enemies left, and this is just a text holder to display it here in our GUI. Now I will be showing the complicated method. Generally, you will only never need to do this if you do not know the variable name, and the value is not unique enough to only pull up a few results. For example, I will start a game, and I happen to know that the hit detector in this game is a boolean of true or false. I need this to stay true for unhit throughout the game in order to get the impossible badge. I happen to know that the boolean value of true in AS2 is 50, and if I scan for that, I get 10,000 results. So I will not be able to narrow this down with normal scanning. To do this, we could actually search for an array of bytes and search for the root variable directly. I had mentioned earlier that every root variable has a marker of 02000020, so we can search for that. Followed by that is the 4 bytes that's a pointer pointing to the variable name, and we do not know that, so we can use wildcards. Next, we will type in the 4-byte value of 50, but we need to do this in hex. So we need to convert 50 to hex, which is 32. And if you get more than 1 byte returned in this, you would reverse them just as we did the addresses. So for this, we will type 32000000. And the extra zeros at the end here are simply to pad it out to 4 bytes. And the addresses we are looking for will end in a 4. So go ahead and add all these. We see that we have 3 root variables in memory that have a value of 50. Now we need to know which of these is actually the root variable we want. And we can do that by adding a pointer that points to the variable name. Go ahead and select one of the addresses and copy the address. And then add a pointer. Paste in the address. Now for this, the pointer to the variable name is these question marks, which is 4 bytes off from where we scanned. So we will do +4, and then we will do 7. And then it's text, and then 20 should be good enough. And so we found a variable name of insane mode. So we are in insane mode, that is true. But that is not the value we are looking for. So we do this again. +4, offset of 7, and we found game pause. The game is paused, that is true. So we will search our last value here, +4, and we get untouched. So we happen to know that this address at the top here is untouched, and that it is currently set to true. Now we can go ahead and add our pointer pointing to this root variable by changing the last digit of the last byte to a 7. So change it to 27 F10606. Add this address, copy it, add it manually with an offset of 5. And don't forget to change this to 4 byte. We have a value of 50. And this is our root variable for untouched. So we can go ahead and lock this and get hit as many times as we want in game and still get the achievement. And that is how you do the complicated scanning method. And this concludes our tutorial for how to do root variable scanning for basic root variables in Cheat Engine. Hopefully you'll have a better understanding of how to track these variables in memory when tools like Ragnarok are not working.